Hi, welcome to Movie Review Mom. Today, the movie I'm reviewing is The Professor and the Madman. It is not rated yet, at least when I saw this a couple of weeks ago. It is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, and the grade that I gave it is a B. It's a solid movie, but not like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. In a quick nutshell, words are powerful, and this biopic is based on the book by Simon Winchester called The Surgeon of Crowthorne, A Tale of Murder, Madness, and Love of Words. So Mel Gibson bought the film rights of the book back in 1999 and is finally bringing this movie to us on the big screen. The film was directed by Farhad Safinia. And it's hard to imagine that a movie about people writing a dictionary could be interesting, right? There's not a lot of scenes of people typing on a typewriter, but there are scenes of people talking about writing and words and all of that kind of stuff. So for that, here are a few tips for parents. Kids are going to be bored out of their minds. Because they're talking about putting together a dictionary. There is some profanity, and there's some discussion and some portrayal of a murder. The positive themes are forgiveness, which I think the movie does really well, actually, repentance, and redemption, persistence, friendship, and a couple of quotes that I pulled out were, one is by Professor James Murray, and he wrote this in his notebook. Only a most diligent life. And he certainly is diligent in this movie, and a good representation of that word, in fact. Sean Penn plays Dr. W.C. Minor, and he says, if love, then what? And I thought that that was interesting. And there's a thread of love that goes through the movie, love of words, love of knowledge, love, romantic love, family love, friendship love, the love of concepts of forgiveness and redemption. And so I pulled those kind of out as the themes, at least that I caught. So some other things that I really liked is, first of all, I loved hearing Mel Gibson with a Scottish accent again. I just loved him in Braveheart. I've seen that movie way too many times. And he obviously doesn't have the same personality in this movie, but I just enjoyed seeing him. And I love seeing him on the screen. I think he's a great actor. I loved him in the movie The Patriot, one of my all-time favorite movies. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely see that movie. And I know he went through a spell where everybody just thought this guy is bonkers and crazy and mean-spirited and just nuts, right? And so I'm happy that he's back on the big screen, and happy to see him using his talents, because I admire his talents. Sean Penn also gives a very strong dead man walking type of performance in this movie. He's also had social issues in Hollywood with his personal affairs over the years, but you can't deny that he's a great actor as well. And then I love the idea of all of England contributing to one big project that would benefit them all. I think that that's really cool. And creating the Oxford Dictionary really was a huge undertaking that blessed all of the English-speaking world at the time. And very few people, including me, even know that story. So I love that it finally came to the big screen. Fans of Game of Thrones will be happy to see Natalie Dormer. So there's that. And then after the awful Holmes and Watson movie aired, it's nice to see Steve Coogan playing a dramatic role. I get a kick out of him, and have enjoyed him in the movie The Trip, and then the sequel of The Trip. I think he's funny. Here he plays, a serious guy, but I like him, and I like seeing him in movies as well. Eliza Merritt's young children were totally adorable, and the talented author Milton is quoted several times. Have you read his famous book, Paradise Lost? He is one of the great all-time authors ever, right? So I highly recommend you read something. I don't know that I've ever seen a movie about his life. I would love to see that. And of course, we have the most recent movie, Tolkien, about J.R.R. Tolkien. So somebody's got to write a movie about Milton. You get to see a few pictures of the real people at the end of the movie. I always love that. And I would have actually loved to have seen more. I love that they have that kind of stuff about these characters, these real people that did so much for history and for the English speaking world. Some things that I didn't really like were many of the scenes are filmed in very dark rooms, which is going to make it really difficult to watch on a computer or a small screen device when it comes out on streaming. I could hardly understand Jennifer L when she spoke. I really like her, but she mumbled so quietly and had an accent that made it kind of frustrating and difficult to hear her. And it almost takes an hour before Professor Murray, Mel Gibson, and Dr. Miner, Sean Penn, actually connect. And we see them together in the movie. And I love their scenes together. They have a certain chemistry. And I just feel like they give a great school in acting. So I loved watching them together. You have to watch Sean Penn throw up several times. That's not something I enjoyed. I like watching him act, but I didn't have to see the throwing up. I much prefer when a director will let you know something is happening, but you don't have to see it in all of its full grossness, to be grossed out. Like knowing that he's bent over and hearing him throw up would have been almost more powerful, certainly more pleasant than actually watching him throw up. But anyway, enough of that. The second half of the movie is definitely more interesting than the first half, which kind of drags a little bit. So the movie is kind of slow going and you get a payoff, but it takes a long time to get there. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So be sure and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought. Be sure and visit moviereviewmom.com where you can read more of my reviews. I have more quotes, funny lines, interesting lines, contests, all that kind of stuff. And be sure and tell your friends about this channel. Thank you for supporting it. I truly appreciate it. Bye for now.